Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. A quick update on day 13 of the Russia-Polish war that is taking place. It looks like that Poland is indeed willing to transfer those MiG-29 aircraft into Ukraine, but not directly via Poland. They would land those MiG-29 aircraft in Germany and then transport those aircraft via Ukrainian pilots from Germany into Ukraine. And it looks like both the United States and the Germans have very quickly shot that idea down. And again, what's very strange is Blinken, Secretary of State Blinken, declared yesterday that indeed they would green light the transfer of MiG-29s from Poland to the Ukraine, but not Poland to Germany to the Ukraine in that order. Obviously, they have their reasons, and they feel that probably, in all probability, that would be more of a NATO action because they would be landing in another NATO state before then being transported to Ukraine. But again, it really doesn't matter because Poland is a NATO partner, as is Germany. And again, the cost benefit of those MiG-29s, wherever they come in from, are going to have a very, very low impact on said conflict. Again, I believe this is just a way to antagonize the Russians and to quite possibly making a move on a NATO state, either attacking those aircraft or attacking the air bases where those aircraft come from within Poland or even inside of Germany. And I think that's why the Polish were trying to do that, and they were trying to pull a fast one by sending those aircraft to Germany, but the Germans shot that down very, very quickly. But again, the whole concept of moving MiG-29s into Ukraine is just nonsensical. Again, they're not going to do much, and it's just going to give the Russians an excuse to quite possibly up the ante and lead to quite possibly a third world war if a strike against a NATO asset is conducted by the Russians, and the Russians feel like at a certain point that NATO is actively participating in this war by delivering those MiG-29s directly to Ukraine. Now, at some point, the Russians could make that argument at really any given time, given the amount of both intelligence sharing that is actively going on with the Ukrainians and the transfer of weaponry that continues into the Ukraine, such as, again, the Javelins, the Stingers, and a host of other weapon systems that are being transferred into Ukraine. But the biggest issue right now is the intelligence, the real-time information that the Ukrainians are able to get from NATO and the United States, especially with those E-3 sentries that can look deep into Ukraine and can see Russian tactical aircraft that have entered Ukrainian airspace, and then give that information directly to the Ukrainian military. That is what is helping the Ukrainians deploy its air defense assets against the Russians, again, where the Ukrainians do not have to turn on those air defense radar systems a lot of times. And again, the whole concept behind that is if the Ukrainians activate their air defense radars, the Russians can see that, and then they could come in with SEAD aircraft, suppression of enemy air defense aircraft, and launch KH-31s, anti-radiation missiles like the U.S. HARM, high-speed anti-radiation missile, towards those radar systems that the Ukrainians are using. And fortunately for the Ukrainians, they really don't have to turn a lot of those on because they are getting long-range radar feeds and information from NATO at this point. And again, I would not rule out the Russians acting on that. because again, the NATO is participating in this conflict, not in more or less a direct way, but much more in a covert manner that I believe that many people truly understand at this point. And it's probably making the Russians very, very angry. More to come as we continue to watch this. Have a good day.